Protecting your peace has become such a major buzz phrase. Let's unpack what that really means in today's video. Your boundaries are hurting your thyroid. Those so-called boundaries that you think are protecting your thyroid are actually silent saboteurs that are keeping you sick. 3 years into my autoimmune Hashimoto's journey, I knew that I was imploding from the torment of holding things in. One day, I was at work and my mom had called about something she needed. And because I was so strung up on work, I had snapped at her for no reason. All because I allowed myself to build up the tension that I never communicated. My fragile peace had collapsed. If you're new here, I'm Sharon, a board-certified nutritionist who is also diagnosed with Hashimoto's at the young age of 26. For years, I thought protecting your peace and setting boundaries was something along the lines of avoidance, sprinkled with bits of communication and even no being a full sentence. That's not it. That is not the real way to set healthy boundaries to protect your peace. I'm a sensitive person. Coupling my sensitivity with thyroid disease that hijacks my hormones, everything gets amplified during high periods of stress. When these periods come along, as they often do, I tend to clam up and avoid, disguised as setting boundaries and protecting my peace. All forms of respectable communication with any hint of confrontation, I'd retreat because I was too afraid to be vulnerable. To be honest, I believed I was doing right by protecting my peace and setting boundaries this way. And in reality, I was only building a fragile bubble around myself. It's easy to confuse false peace with setting boundaries, especially with the way that it's been marketed and shared on all social media platforms, at least from what I've been seeing. I thought that protecting my peace meant to keep everyone happy, especially me. But it wasn't peace. It was a fragile illusion built on avoidance because I lacked the emotional intelligence to face the truth. Because my sensitivity and my fixed mindset, respectable communication, otherwise known as setting real and healthy boundaries, was non-existent. So lately in my personal life, I've actually witnessed the fallout of other people's relationships. They're setting real boundaries and protecting their peace, and they're really just putting up walls, leading to crumbled relationships due to misunderstandings and unspoken resentments. It's actually both disheartening and eye-opening for me, because the ability to witness their downfalls made me realize that I was actually doing the same thing, building a fragile life where my protected peace could shatter the moment I'm triggered. So of course, this wasn't easy to admit. It's never easy to admit when you're at fault, right? I had to face the truth that my avoidance was self-destructive to myself and my connections with others. Connections and relationships matter so deeply to our well-being. My sensitive nature, coupled with my hormonal thyroid condition, become an excuse for inaction because of my fixed mindset. It took some time, but I delved into the self-discovery to assess what real and healthy boundaries look like, to remold my relationship with others, with work, and other aspects of my life where I need to set boundaries. This meant that I needed to open myself up to hard conversations, to actually discern when it's okay to say no without guilt, and to prioritize my needs without guilt or shame. Recognizing true peace comes from authenticity, not avoidance. So the transformation came when I shifted my focus from just focusing on my symptoms and relying on lifestyle hacks to actually getting laser focused on who I needed to be. And for me, that is somebody who is resilient no matter what. I started doing this by practicing being more assertive, more honest, and most importantly, vulnerable. If you're struggling with thyroid disease and you recognize yourself in my shoes, here are 3 transformative guidelines to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in terms of actually protecting your peace and setting real and healthy boundaries. The first one is getting honest with yourself and doing a boundary audit. Examine every situation where you are setting boundaries and ask yourself the reflective question: am I avoiding conflict, or am I truly setting a healthy boundary? Am I making this choice from a position of groundedness or a position of survival mode? The second one is having those hard conversations. This one is really tough because it's going to put you face to face with the discomfort. Start slow and start with one courageous conversation. It could be telling your doctor that they've hurt you with their dismissive comment, or maybe asking your partner for support in the areas where you really need when it comes to your experience with thyroid disease. Or something much, much deeper, like starting a conversation with an in-law or a friend who always seems to misunderstand you. Saying something like, hey, I'm really fatigued today and my thyroid is really kicking my butt, so I might not make it to dinner, maybe next time. But this doesn't mean that I'm saying no is not a full sentence. What I'm explaining here is that it's also really helpful to have these conversations. It's helpful for you and the other party to express your needs clearly and respectfully. So if even the thought of having these conversations puts you in dis-ease and jolts your body into nervousness, that is when you know you're doing the right thing. Rewiring your nervous system towards safety and authenticity and trickling away from avoidance. And this third one, building or establishing your thyroid truth community. As I always say, we heal in community. So when it comes to our healing journey, we need people to cheer us on and to support us. But when it comes to building your thyroid truth community in your season of recalibrating what it looks like to protect your peace and set real healthy boundaries, this is what I mean. In whatever form that is, whether you're talking to your therapist or your best friend, it's helpful to have that one person who can help you identify those patterns. This is helpful to open up your heart and your mind to actually seeing the truth, to making the change. Open up to that one person who is empathetic, but also tells it like it is. For me, that's my husband and sometimes my sister. This person can witness your journey without judgment, but also knows when to call you out to help devoid you from beating around the bushes, nudging you closer into setting those real and healthy boundaries so that you can actually and truly set the real peace that you are craving. Those are the kinds of relationships we all need. Gentle but firm. Every time you choose authentic communication over avoidance, you're not just supporting your connections, you're literally rebuilding your thyroid physiology. For us women, when we constantly swallow our words and build up walls to create fake peace, holding back our truth, our bodies naturally will respond with inflammation. And that is the nature of autoimmunity, especially when it comes to our throat, the home of our voice and expression. As I practiced these steps over time, I noticed that my relationships either deepened or I landed in a position of real peace within myself in a way where I came to acceptance of certain situations because I know I cannot control the response of others. So one thing is for sure, don't let your fear hold you back from living authentically. Take those necessary steps that you need to protect your real peace. I would love to hear your experience. Have you struggled with setting boundaries? Let me know in the comments and share this video with somebody who can benefit from this profound message of what it actually takes to set real boundaries and protect their peace. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.